Episode 8, Watkins Glen. One of my favorite road courses, and it was very lackluster other than the Xfinity race. We have a bunch of news before we get into the races. We have, oh man, got SHR looking to sell 2 of its charters, possibly. Denny Hamlin potentially looking to go to Ford for 2311. Possibly looking to sign Zane Smith for the Cup Series. And we have GMS. That's just probably the biggest news.
Yeah.
GMS shutting its truck team down at the end of this season. Looking to, focus all their time and money on legacy. Focus on the Cup team, and I don't really blame them, especially with how bad of a season they've had. And focusing on the Cup team is probably the smartest move that they could do.
Yeah.
I feel bad for like Enfinger and Daniel Dye, Raja. Enfinger's probably going to get a ride no matter what. But Daniel Dye and Raja, I think Raja has a better shot of getting a ride than Daniel does.
Yeah. Because Daniel, he's only 19, but his rookie season, it started awful. It was terrible. And he doesn't have a top 10 on the year. He does have, I think, 2 top 15s, which for a rookie season in trucks, that's pretty good, honestly. Especially for someone his age. That's really good.
The thing is he hasn't done that bad.
Yeah. It's just he's
overshadowed. He's got bad luck, too.
Yeah, like I mentioned at the start of the season, nothing would go right for him. It even started at practice in the truck series that he didn't get to practice, I don't think.
Yeah. There's a reason why they always talk about him having the in-car camera, because he's always around where the wrecks are happening.
Yeah, they ain't wrong.
We also have Trevor Bayne. 3 of the next 5 races he'll be in the 19 in the Xfinity Series for Gibbs. I love me some Trevor.
Yeah, which would be this weekend Daytona, the night race at Bristol, and then Texas the following week.
Texas, he has a shot to win.
Daytona has a shot to win.
Oh, so does 80% of the field. So
he might also have a shot at Bristol too.
I'm a firm believer in to Trevor Bayne.
Yeah,
has plenty of talent to race.
Yeah,
he's got plenty of talent to do it full time and to be a contender. When he won the 500, everyone set such unrealistic expectations for him that they ruined his potential career.
Yeah.
It wasn't really him that was, ruining his own career. It was everyone that was just, oh my God, he won the 500s, and now he's got to be this and this. It's like, where was those expectations when Austin Cindric won the Daytona 500? They knew that as a rookie, he might not be, the greatest driver. So why did, making all this stuff about Trevor being, basically the second coming of Christ in the Cup Series because he won the 500. And let's be honest here, the only reason he won the 500 was because Roush decided to screw up on the restart.
I think that was an accident. I don't think he meant to do that, David Reagan.
I don't think he meant to do it either, but they still screwed up on the restart.
Yeah.
And that pretty much handed it to him and gave him that chance.
Yeah, I remember watching. That was my first race, too, I ever watched, was that Daytona 500 in 2011. I think I was cheering on Bob the Bonnie for that win because he was the only guy I knew.
I was cheering on Carl.
Yeah, I didn't know Carl that well, at that time, but I knew Bob Labonte real well because of the old NASCAR Thunder games. So I was rooting him on, and then I saw Edwards and Gilliland go underneath Labonte. I'm like, oh man! And then Carlos just pushed Trevor Bayne to the win.
Yeah, Trevor played probably the best possible race he could have,
Yeah.
and just pulled down in front of Edwards and gave him. He's like, you're either going to push me or you're going to dump me.
Mhm.
And I think he was going to push him regardless because I mean that was his teammate.
Yeah.
Because Trevor raced him with that. He was good. He had a future, a bright future, and they set such high expectations for him, and he just like it was a bad time for a new driver to come in because of how stacked the field was. Like Harvick dominating, Tony was still racing, Gordon, Johnson, Jr., Kenseth, Edwards, like Biffle. Like
Yeah.
you had so many great drivers. Where was he gonna go? Uh, you know,
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what happens, especially with the whole Denny move, trying to thinking about switching to Ford for 2311. I think that's a potential way of getting Zane into his team.
Mhm.
But I also wouldn't be surprised, and this is a long shot, but I really wouldn't be surprised if front row sees those two charters open, and front row goes and gets another charter to sign Zane to bring him up to Cup and stay with front row. I wouldn't be surprised. Is it in the realm of possibility? Yes. Do I think it's do I think it's a probability? Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But it wouldn't surprise me, especially with Todd has been getting better. McDowell has had a great season. Front row is looking really good this year. I really wouldn't be surprised if they take a shot in the dark and they try to get a charter and bring them up.
Yeah, in a perfect world, that's probably what they would do. But you gotta think these charters nowadays are like $40 or $50 million, and at least from
Yeah,
from what I've heard, and I don't know if front row has that kind of money, honestly.
I mean they
Uh,
have Loves and everything, and Loves is massive. Like they bring in a
yeah,
ton of money.
yeah, but other than that, what else they got?
I think they have Freightliner. It
That's
seems like they
it.
have a lot of trucking company. It's like Loves is a truck stop. I've seen Freightliner on the 38.
Yeah,
So I mean, and Freightliner is huge.
yeah, but also 2311's huge ish because they're getting the ball rolling. It could be the first time they both
Oh,
have both their cars in the playoffs.
they also have Michael Jordan, so
Yeah,
that
and he
also kind of gives them a little bit more.
yeah, and he has a load of money probably.
Oh yeah, he's got a ton of money.
So yeah, that's why yeah, which I agree. It's a long shot, but you also got to think the front row said when they announced that Todd and Michael McDowell would be returning to the team that they they did have plans to bring a third car for Zane, but they I think they did not want to focus on a rookie. Too, they did not want to focus on a rookie. They wanted to keep some longevity on the team because they kept changing drivers in the 38 like every other year.
Yeah, but There's also who is it that's coming up, and is it Zane that's coming up and driving the 36 for front row?
For what?
They have a car that they're going to be fielding.
Oh, Wiley Hopes is going to be in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but the car will be made by Stuart Haas.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, still technically a third front row car. So
Yeah, it's kind of like what they did with Zane Smith in Xfinity. But it would have the team name on it, but it'd be prepared to fight by Stuart Haas.
right. It's kind of like Wood Brothers in a sense.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, but that'd be crazy if that happens. But you also got to take into account if that does happen.
Where's Priest gonna go?
Yeah, and Almirola is going to retire, and probably, most likely, who knows? But yeah, why Priest go if the charters if they sell the charter because they probably want to focus on Josh Berry and Chase Briscoe,
Yeah,
and also Denny Hamlin himself. If they switch to Ford, where's he going to go?
that's also another thing. It would be
Because
interesting because it would seem like if SHR wants to sell those two charters, Denny wants to bring Zane in,
yeah,
and they still haven't confirmed anything for Denny's contract.
yeah, he said that the contract's done, ready to go. It's just that he's waiting on the deal with Toyota for his team 2311.
So if he's talking to Ford, and it's the rumor that he's talking to Ford, would we possibly see Denny drive for his own team, buy both the charters, be a 4-car operation, and bring Zane on? Like, that would throw a wrench in everything.
Yeah, because last year with Kyle Busch, what they had to deal with Kyle Busch, they said, "Oh, we're gonna get a deal done. He's gonna be with the team." And then look what happened. He left RCR. He left JGR for RCR, which in my mind, I did not see that coming. I
I
was like,
did.
yeah, I did not see that coming. No, I think nobody saw that coming really. And I was like, Kyle is gonna stay at JGR. Like, there's no way if they lose him, it's gonna be a roller coaster. And then boom, he announces and out before Bristol, like a year ago now, that he's going to move to RCR. I'm like, are you serious? I'm dreaming, right? Tell me
Look,
I'm dreaming.
I saw that coming because you could tell Kyle did not want to race for JDR anymore. After
Yeah,
after he won his last championship, JGR put all their focus on Denny and Truex,
yeah,
and that was it. And Kyle kept getting nothing but the shit end of the stick every year. You could see that the performance kept dropping with him. You saw he wasn't happy anymore, and it was years. It was years of just struggle for him.
yeah,
Yeah, he would win a couple races here and there, but he was never the same. And then, he switches to RCR, he makes that decision, and yeah, they've had their ups and downs this season, but he's still a contender.
yeah,
And he's happier. You can tell that Kyle is happier.
yeah,
You know, I don't think, everyone I understand the point of view that, we all didn't see this coming, but I wasn't looking at it as, you know, Kyle's been with them for all these years and this and that. I was looking at it as you could see the performance was dropping. You could see every other race he was just pissed.
yeah,
He was upset. Why? And he would say, why are my teammates so much faster than me? Why are they outperforming me? Why this? Why that? And you could tell JGR was putting all their cards in, all their money in to Denny and Truex, and me and G Money talked about this last night. They were putting all their money into them because I don't know why. I can't I can't explain that one. You have a two-time champion that is the one of the winningest drivers in NASCAR history for all three series. Yeah, he may not be the biggest winner for the Cup Series, but he's by a long shot the biggest winner in Xfinity and Truck Series, and it's not even a contest of he's the best. 200 plus wins across three series, 100 wins for his truck team. I mean, why wouldn't you want to put all of your time and effort into Kyle Busch? And they didn't, and he felt like abandoned, I guess. Like that's about the only way I could put it. Like he just felt like they were just letting him go. They just didn't want to put any time into him anymore.
Yeah.
Put any money into him, and he was tired of it. Like, let's be honest here. Joe Gibbs could 100% have afforded to pay for Kyle Busch to be there. I'm not stupid. None of us are stupid. Joe Gibbs has a shitload of money. He was the owner of an NFL team. I think he has the money. Let's be honest here. But let's just, let's put that aside because them saying, oh, we couldn't get a deal because, I couldn't pay for it out of pocket. Stop bullshitting. Just stop it. There's no way that you could not have paid for you could have paid for all four of your drivers' contracts out of pocket, my guy. Let's get over it. You didn't want Kyle because Kyle was unhappy and he stated that he was unhappy and your grandson was coming up. That's why. That's why he wasn't going to pay for it out of pocket because he knew that Ty Gibbs was coming. And he wanted his grandson.
But we'll go back to Denny for a minute. He's been the opposite. He's been getting, like you said, he's been getting the wins consistently. He's been showing the speed. If he switches to Ford, what happens to him? Because I know FedEx is slowly trying to back out of NASCAR for a while. I think this past season, but he's been showing the speed and he's been getting all the good cars, so to speak. What happens to him if he leaves? Because that's gonna be because if that happens, you lose Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch in 2 years. That's gonna be a huge storyline in his own, right there.
If I'm going to tell you now, if Denny goes along with that and moves to his own team, changes to Ford, the first person that'll be taken over for him is John.
Yeah.
The 42 will not be the case for him anymore, and he will be going right to that 11 car.
Yeah.
Honestly, and if I really have to be honest here, I wouldn't be surprised if Denny does go with Ford to go get Zane, which would be that would be massive because Zane deserves it.
Yeah. And also, if you want to go back to the whole Toyota deal, Denny, I believe, wants his team to be out of Joe Gibbs' shadow because they when in 2022 or 2021 and 2022 they had pit crews from Joe Gibbs Racing, and then this year they started hiring their own pit crews.
Yep.
And if you look in the past with other Toyota affiliates I have with Joe Gibbs Racing, Furniture what happened to that what happened to them after 3 years? They shut down because I believe Joe Gibbs Racing increased the price by like 300% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2019, Levi Family Racing takes on the role. What happens to them? 2 years later, they shut down. So I think Denny wants to get away from JGR for his team because he does not want to be himself in the same fate and have everybody shut down, have it shut down. And if he does switch to fourth, then he'll step out of the shadow so that the team doesn't shut down because of Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, and it would make a lot of sense because you would think that if if there wasn't something else going on, that contract would have been signed already.
Yeah.
Hey, everything would be done already. It would have been not even halfway through the season that they were announcing.
Yeah.
They would have had that locked up because it's Denny. And I really do think that Denny is really looking to switch to Ford. I wouldn't. It would not shock me at all that that is a true rumor.
But also, I was just thinking about this. If Danny does leave, will he bring the 11 over to 2311?
Yes,
And Joe Gibbs would have to bring back the 18.
he would. I would guarantee that he would bring the 11 with him. 100%. He's gonna. He would get the 11 and bring it with him because I mean you can't. It's not like a Kyle Busch situation where he started with the 5 and then he went to the 18. He was with the 18 forever, and then he went to the 8.
Yeah.
It's Denny Hamlin. He's been in the 11 since he started, and there's never been another number for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Denny will take the 11. He'll take it with him. I think it will be Bell going to the 18, and I think John Hunter Nemechek will come up, be with Gibbs next season, and Gibbs he will take the 20.
Or do they put Ty in the 18?
I mean, it could go either way. With Gibbs,
Yeah.
I think since Gibbs has been in the 54 already, I think they'll probably keep Gibbs in the 54. That ride was tailored for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, in all honesty, the only way I see it going is Denny will take the 11 with him. He'll sign Zane. He'll drive for his own team because he sees RFK.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big reason, because he's talked about it on his podcast
Yeah.
about how impressed he's been with how strong that they've brought their team up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I have a feeling that he's gonna change to Ford. He's gonna take the 11 with him. He's gonna drive for his own team. He's gonna sign Zane. John Hunter's gonna come up. He's gonna drive the 20. The 18's gonna come back. Bell's gonna go over to the 18, and that's just gonna be how all that whole situation goes, because it makes sense, especially
Yeah.
with trying to leave. FedEx has been his number one sponsor since he started.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sign. It's a sign that things are ending, and it makes more sense because Kyle left, and the grass was greener for him. He has his team. They just built their shop for 2311,
Mm-hmm.
and the only reason he said that he would build a shop is if the TV deal was in the drivers and team's favor. And if you notice, he built a shop. So clearly something happened with the TV deal that made him realize, okay, maybe the the TV deal is actually going in our favor, which leads me to believe that this has been in the works for more than just the season.
Yeah, because that's the same thing with Austin Hill. Because he's staying in Xfinity, I guess, because of the TV deal.
I think
Maybe.
it's because they know that that something is getting better
Yeah.
for them. So I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to wind up seeing It'll be a few weeks, maybe a month or two before we hear anything about it.
Yeah.
But I would be shocked if we hear anything about the contract with Gibbs being signed official.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten all the news out of the way, I felt like we needed to, talk a lot about it because we don't really have a whole lot to talk about for the races. It's unfortunately, I mean, the Xfinity race was good, except for Gibbs. Gibbs comes into the Xfinity series and he just he has so much of a faster car. I was shocked that Bowman qualified second. But other than that, I wasn't shocked about anything. There was no other shocks. Stage one, no shocks in the top 10. Stage two, again, no shocks in the top 10. And then, you had, let's see.
The biggest thing for me was that Parker Klingman and Sheldon Creed just could not get away from each other.
No, they could not.
That's just crazy.
You had Ellis stopping on the track early.
Yeah, I think that was in the bus stop.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't the bus stop, but I was thinking on the straight, but no, it was over by the other end because he leaked fluid on the track.
Yeah,
or oil, whatever it was.
And then Taylor Smith got a penalty. They just like he needs to just get out of his own way at some point because he just continues to have issues.
Chandler Smith.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but at the beginning of the year he was so fast, and he won. He should have won Vegas, and he won Richmond, and then
yeah.
after that he just fell off. But
Yeah.
I guess you could call it's a rookie season. That it's normal. It happens.
It does.
But then,
I mean,
but then,
he's got the speed. He's got the talent.
yeah. But then you look at Daniel Hemrick, and he's basically done nothing in 2 years.
He's also another one where his team just screws him over. He's had so many pit issues this season. It's incredible.
And he never has the speed too. He always seems to be like the worst car out of car league, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like that's how you treat your champion. Then, I mean, he's going to be probably awarded with a cup ride next year in 31. So I don't know.
And you had Josh Williams, whatever. They all started stopping, and I mean, Josh just playing with his dick or something. I have no idea what the hell he was doing. Like he just drove right into the back.
I think from what I heard, he was trying to fix his radio on his
Yeah, he was.
radio
Oh no,
plug,
he was trying to fix the hose on his helmet.
yeah, and then he wasn't looking, and then he rear-ended. I believe it was Stephen Parsons.
Yeah, and that
And
ended his day.
and I like that Steve Letarte is like, that's why you should always look while you're driving teenagers. I just like, I was like, I knew he was going to say something like that. But yeah, Josh said it was completely his fault and he effed up.
Oh yeah, he beat the hell out of himself for that. Which I mean,
Yeah, I was like, what did he do? I was like, to get that much damage? Like, good
Yeah.
God. They were basically stopped in turn 6 going like 20, 30 miles an hour.
Then you had Kaz Grala and Sammy Smith, and it's crazy that Grala got little to no damage after you know hitting a spare with the "Go Bowling" sign in the bus
Oh
stop,
yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, strike.
and Sammy had a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and I think Rick Allen said it looked like it was like water that shot up that when he hit it, but apparently it was
yeah,
actually just the sand in the sandbags. I'm like, how does that look like water?
it did look like water though.
I mean, it did look like visually, but then when you saw it like hit the hood and the windshield, you're like, and then splat, and you're like, yeah, that's not water.
McLaughlin hitting the wall. He hit the wall
Oh
pretty
yeah,
hard.
oh yeah, it looked like he had no brakes. He either lost it or he had no brakes going in that corner and turn seven, and he hit that wall hard.
It did.
Like he hit it so hard, I think the back window like caved in. Like it was that hard.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
Parker Retzlaff, I mean, he was having a decent race. I felt bad for him.
What happened to him?
He spun and got stuck in a gravel trap.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And he got stuck in a gravel trap, and then
Oh yeah, that was the caution that they were doing the fuel strategy. That was the caution that came out.
Mozart or not Mozart, Bush had no third gear.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what happened to him. I expected so much more out of him, and then I heard that he had the third gear issue. I was like, oh well, that's why. He did for no third gear. He actually hung in there really really well.
He did. If you want someone to if you want a driver that's gonna get absolutely everything out of a car that is missing something, especially a gear, give it to Kyle Busch because he's won with a car being in fourth gear. So
Oh yeah, I remember Pocono. He won with no fourth gear. He's saving fuel.
he won with it stuck in fourth gear.
Yeah, because he
He
was
was
saving.
stuck,
Because he was saving fuel.
and then he couldn't get it out of fourth gear.
Yeah.
And then restart. Ty Gibbs went wide on the restart, and Seb Mayer just. It looked like Mayer was going to block, and then Ty Gibbs drove it real deep,
Yeah.
and Mayer's just like, okay, well, I'm going to back up the corner and drive it underneath you, get alongside you. They made a little contact going through the bus stop, not through the bus stop, through the first part of the S's, through like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like if you're side by side, you're going to make a little bit of contact, and it's not going to be
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah.
And then,
And there's so little room in the S's that it's really hard to go too wide there.
yeah, it's incredibly hard to go too wide there. And Ty just kind of cleared himself and almost put Mayer into the wall, stacked up everyone behind him.
I thought All Guy was gonna hit him when that happened. I was like, he's gonna plow him, but luckily he lifted.
Yeah. And then it doesn't actually say it was Cash Gralla that got sideways. Gralla got sideways. He saved that. That was one of the greatest saves I've seen.
I actually didn't see him save it. All I saw was
He saved it on the back stretch. He was like 45 degrees sideways, pointing to the outside wall.
Oh no, that was Connor.
Was it Connor? Because
Yeah,
it says Gralla.
Because they had an onboard camera on him of Connor Mosack, and they rode on board with him while he was saving it.
Oh.
So it was Connor.
NASCAR.com needs to update that then. Because NASCAR.com says it was Gralla.
Yeah, it was Connor.
It actually says that Cole Custer clipped Justin and turned him out of the bus stop, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
just big pile up. And here's a little bit of controversy. Not the whole ending yet.
Mm-hmm.
Parker Kligerman. Now they showed the replay of it, and he was in front of a whole bunch of people, and they put him all the way back in like 9th and 10th.
It was
behind behind Barry and everyone. And when they showed the replay, Barry was even behind him,
Yeah.
and that makes no sense to me.
Yeah. The reason I read a little bit on the article. The reason was because when the caution came out, there was a scoring loop right on the entrance of the carousel when they crossed it, and Barry was in the grass, so he didn't. He went through the grass through past the scoring loop, and he did not run over the scoring loop. So they I think they went back to the previous scoring loop for Barry to see where he was, and he was third, I think. So they put him in front of Klingerman.
But what made no sense was Klingerman was in like fifth, and they dropped him all the way back to ninth.
Yeah, Barry ended up third, Sammy Smith ended up fifth, and Parker ended up ninth on the restart.
Which was terrible because Klingerman had a shot there at the end.
Yeah, I think I heard that if he would have restarted third where he was, then he might have probably could have won the race.
Yeah, he could have. And then we get to the final restart, and let's just be honest here. Mayer and Gibbs have had history. They've had a lot of history all the way back to ARCA.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just last season when was it last season or was it the season before? I think it was 2021 when he punched Mayer, wasn't it?
No, it was last year.
It was last year.
Yeah, Martinsville.
Punching Mayer in the face with his helmet on. Like, never mind. I'm not gonna call him the word I wanted to call him. I have a very very strong opinion about punching someone with your helmet on. You're gonna swing it. You're gonna throw a punch. You're gonna take your helmet off, and you're gonna get one back.
Yeah, I think it's a driver code thing that if you're gonna fight, you gotta have your helmets off.
Yep. Take your helmet off.
Yeah, I think it's a driver code thing.
I mean, Mayer did say after the race that it didn't matter who was in front. It didn't matter who was in front of him. He was gonna make them. And I don't blame him. I mean, I could see it happening too. Even if it was Austin Hill that restarted on the bottom there, he was going to dive it in because that was the opportunity. But he had a little more incentive to dive it in because Ty Gibbs cleared himself off of him and almost put him in the wall through the S's.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I said it before we started the podcast. You can't race. You can't show no respect for the Xfinity Series drivers and expect to get raced like you're a saint. You can't. And Ty Gibbs continuously shows that when he comes down and races Xfinity, he has no respect.
But this is the thing that makes me a little iffy about it is because like you said, the history that they've had. Because some tells me that he might have wheel hopped. I tried to look at the replays and see if he actually wheel hopped.
He was sideways getting in there.
Yeah, he was sideways, but I couldn't tell if he wheel hopped because I was trying to look at the back tires, see if it was hopping. And
I don't even know if he didn't get hit from behind either.
No, he didn't get hit from behind. He just drove it in balls to the wall. And that's the part that I'm on the fence. This is the part that I was on the fence about because of the history that these two have had. It's like because they've had such a history with each other, both mainly bad, that I'm conflicted to whether if he did it intentionally or not. That's the thing, and on top of what happened just like 10 minutes earlier.
I'll be honest. As a Sam Mayer fan, I really didn't like the move. I'm okay with him moving him because he deserved it. I think that Gibbs deserved to get moved. Do I think he deserved to get just cleaned out? No, he did not he did not deserve to get cleaned out. Was I absolutely over the moon with joy because he got cleaned out? Absolutely, because I hate Ty Gibbs in Xfinity. When he's racing in Cup, he races with nothing but respect. When he races in Xfinity, he races with a stick up his ass, and I just don't like it. You're down there to get it. You're down there for more experience, to get used to, for all that. You're not down there to just bully everyone the whole race. And what's crazy is most of the races that he's in, he's half a track ahead anyway, and he's still bullying guys, which is crazy to me. You have the best car damn near every time you jump into an Xfinity car, and you still have to bully people. Like, just stop. Like, there's no reason to be doing it. And then you get out of the car, and then you cry about the desperation move. Well, listen, dude, you kind of played a desperation move by clearing yourself. So I really don't want to hear it.
I mean, I don't blame him because no one touched him all day, so
Of
they
course,
were desperate to get around him. So I kind of understand that point.
it was their only shot to get around him, and he knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that the only way that they were going to beat him is by moving him out of the way.
Yeah.
And he did the one thing to someone that will 100% move his ass out of the way. And when Mayer won at Road America, you saw the confidence level of him skyrocket. He was making moves that were crazier. He was doing a whole lot more to try and make stuff happen. And I love it. I love seeing it, because for the longest time, Mayer has been really passive.
Yeah.
And now he's not. He's got the confidence. He got his first win. And he knew, look, yeah, I may have made a mistake and wheel hopped it and got in a lot harder than I originally wanted to. But at the same time, it sucks to suck, doesn't it? And I was waiting for Gibbs to, pull God into it or Jesus into it, because he gets us on his car. I was waiting for it, but he didn't really do it. And then you see the weird scruff that he's got going on, and I don't like that. He looks really weird.
It looks
You
weird, but I kind of like it.
you need to continue to look like a child, because you look like you're like 13 years old when you started. So keep that up, because we need something to make fun of. We need something to pick on. That's basically what Ty Gibbs is. That ending battle between Mayer and Creed, though, phenomenal.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for all the speedy dry and everything all over the track,
Yeah.
I think it would have been a little bit more of a battle. But Mayer had a way better car than Creed did anyway. And even though Mayer had left front damage, he was still fast. He was going to wind up getting him. It was just going to be a lot closer than it was.
Yeah.
Parker coming home third. Yes.
Yep.
Let's go. Ross, somehow, no one said anything about it. No one even said his name all race, and he finishes fourth.
Yeah, I was like, he finished fourth. Holy crap.
John Hunter, with half of the foam missing from the left side of his car, finishes sixth.
I'm like, how?
I don't know how he did that. Austin Hill wound up 14th, because when Gibbs spun out, he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, he tried to avoid him, and he got clipped by Cole Custer. And then after the race, he door checked Sam Mayer, which looked a little aggressive. I was like, is he saying congratulations, or is he angry with Sam? Like, that was a little.
Well, they even said that. They even said that in the broadcast. They're
Yeah.
like,
what did he do to him?
he wrecked Gibbs. He didn't wreck you. Custer wrecked you. Go after Custer.
Yeah. I was like, is that congratulations, or you trying to make a point here?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was a congratulations, and also you're an ass.
or congratulations, or I'm mad that what just happened.
Well, who cares what Austin Hill thinks anyway? Because we all know my opinion on Austin Hill. I think he's overrated. I think he just keeps getting lucky because most of his wins are plate track.
Hey, you gotta have skill to have win plate tracks.
Not according to Junior.
You gotta have the car and the skill.
So we'll go into the standings real quick.
I think it's like 3 points separating Riley Herbst and Parker Klingman on the bubble now because Herbst had a mechanical failure, I think.
Yeah, Herbst had I think it was a transmission issue.
Yeah, because it kept coming out of gear, coming out of the bus stop.
Yeah. So now Parker is 3 points away, and I really want Parker to beat him.
Some tells me he's not though. I mean, he could win Daytona, but after that's Darlington and Kansas. I don't know how.
I
Parker
don't
has
think Riley's gonna. I don't think Riley's gonna do good either. I think Darlington Riley will do good because Darlington Riley's usually pretty good.
yeah.
Kansas, Daytona, I think Parker's gonna beat him.
Yeah.
I think the real question is, does Sheldon and Daniel hold their lead? You know, Hemrick only has a 28-point lead, and Creed only has a 22-point lead, and Riley had a bigger advantage than Creed did before Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that was like 30 points or something like that.
So, I mean, neither one of them are safe at all, and Parker has been riding a hot streak.
Yeah. I think he's like it's been like 5 top 10s in a row. I think,
He's got 12 top 10s,
but like 5 in a row.
yeah, like it's a. I think we're going to see Parker make it.
It's probably gonna come down to the final lap at Kansas, but I'll be very happy if Parker made it.
I would be ecstatic if Parker made it because I love Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's great for he's great for the Xfinity series. He's got a ton of experience. I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too.
And we go to. Oh, go ahead.
And plus a big machine, a racing car in the playoffs. That was my
Huge.
prediction was he'd be a playoff contender, a dark horse playoff contender. But I think I had him just missing out the playoffs. But he's basically where I thought he would be for the whole season.
He's had a couple shots, and I feel like he's kind of gotten screwed a couple times in places that he probably should have won.
Yeah, mainly the road courses of Watkins
Road
Glen.
courses. He's had a couple really good oval races too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's really improved everywhere. Now we get to the Cup race. You go and look at practice, and you know AJ fifth in practice. Corey LaJoy was second, and then Elliott. It's basically the only person we're going to talk about. Elliott, seventh in practice, looked like he was going to be fast, and then he kind of stepped all over his dick in qualifying. And he admitted to it. He admitted himself he fucked up in qualifying.
Yeah.
So, like, it is what it is there. We'll get to it. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Denny qualifying on pole. I knew that wasn't going to last long, and it didn't. Because McDowell just had a rocket ship from the start. And then he also stepped all over his dick.
Not once.
Not twice, but 3 times.
3 times.
Wins the first stage, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here for it.
And I like to hear from the spot of stage runner, Mr. McDowell. Come on. I love
stage 1. I mean, nothing really changed.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole lineup in the top 10. Stage 2, nothing really changed.
Except for Byron winning the stage.
Except for Byron winning the stage and Chase Elliott getting 7th.
Yeah, because of strategy.
And well, gotta touch on it now. It has to happen. Elliott running out of fuel on the backstretch because Alan Gustafson said that the reserve had 3 laps of fuel. Now, I'm going to say, and I'm not going to mince words here, this is not just Alan's fault. It's not. You can't tell me, Chase, that you do not know that at plate tracks where you're wide open throttle, where you can't save any kind of fuel, you can barely get a lap of reserve once you flip that switch. At a road course where you are on and off throttle, on the brakes hard, all of that, you are getting more than a lap of fuel. You know that there's no excuse from any point, from any of them. The team listening in to the radio transmissions, because you know that they're listening, they know that what Alan said is bullshit. Chase should have known that what Alan said was bullshit. The fact that no one called Alan out for saying that they had that much extra, the fact that no one said anything, I'm sorry, but you can't just point the blame at Alan. And second, you can't point the blame at Alan for trying to take a big risk, because Chase is the one that effed it from the start, because he qualified like crap. You can't qualify 15th and then expect to not have to take a massive risk in the race to try and get back up there. He had a fast car. He could have had a good race if he qualified better. Then it would have taken a small risk to try and gain that position, to get up towards the front. But instead, they had to take a massive risk. He was, at the end of stage 2, he was 28 seconds back. Nothing he would have done at that point would have made up. He needed a bunch of cautions to catch up and gain track position, and that was not going to happen. I can't get on board with just pointing the blame at Alan for that incident, because Chase screwed it from the very beginning. Before they even went on track for the race, Chase screwed them, because he messed up damn near every corner of that racetrack in his qualifying lap. I mean, a lot of Chase fans are really quick to blame Alan, and yes, Alan has made some questionable calls. I understand that. So is every other freaking crew chief in NASCAR has made questionable calls that have ended up screwing their driver. Chase is not Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you guys, but he has literally not been that good all season. He's been consistent. Consistent wasn't going to get him back. That's the whole reason why Kyle Busch, who missed half a season, drove all the way up and made it and won the championship. Kyle Busch was a winner after he broke both his legs. Both.
Technically, it was his left leg, right foot.
Chase broke one leg. Kyle Busch broke multiple bones in one leg and his foot in the other leg, on his other leg. And he came back and then went on a freaking tear. And Chase came back and he's been just meh. You're not making the playoffs with meh. It doesn't work that way, especially now. Maybe back when Kyle did it, you could have made it with just meh. You can't do that now. There's 15 different winners. Look, 13 different winners.
13.
And you weren't, and now there's only one spot. And unless we get a shocker of a winner, Bubba's in the play. Bubba's in. Because we all know Bubba is phenomenal in play track. So Bubba's in. Unless something drastic happens in that race and he gets involved in a wreck or there's a shock winner, Bubba's in. Like I can't see it going any other way. Chase Elliott is not winning at Daytona. Bowman is not winning at Daytona. Out of all the people, do I think that are on that bubble has the best shot? It's Bubba. It's not Bubba. It's Bowman. Bowman has the best shot out of those three drivers to win that race because Bowman is always good at Daytona.
You also have to look at Suarez too, because the last three plate races, you want to count Atlanta, he's finished top 10 in all three.
That's also true.
Yeah.
I just see that I can tell you how it's going to go. Byron's going to push Chase because, first of all, there ain't no way Larson's going to push Chase whatsoever. And I don't blame him. Larson's going to push Bowman. They're going to try and help each other out. Do I think Chase is going to win? No. I don't see it happening at all.
Now, I want to throw this in for you. Just for you. What if Elliott's leading, Lawson in second? What do you think Lawson's going to do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unless he can get a run, nothing.
Yeah, I'm saying that's if, because Lawson, no offense, but Lawson's not been that great at play tracks ever.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. I know he hasn't. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it a little bit more, if Chase is in first and Larson's in second, Larson's going to try and pass him because he's so bad at play track, and he would want to get a win in a play track. I think that in order to get a win in a play track, I don't think he gives a shit about Chase, and I wouldn't either. That Chase, right there. I mean, he can get upset about it all he wants. You know, it's kind of his fault anyway. You were being stupid on a snowboard. You got hurt. You could have had an extra race to gain a little bit more points, but instead you wanted to be an asshole and try and end Denny Hamlin's career. And yeah, I hate Denny Hamlin, but there was no fucking excuse for that. Chase lost his temper and tried to end Denny's career, and as much as I don't like Denny, I don't want to see him lose and his career ended because Chase wants to be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, and didn't he get a points penalty for that, or did he just get suspended?
No, he just got suspended.
Oh, it must be nice, Chase.
I mean, because Bubba was the same way when he wrecked Lawson last year. Because he was going to lose points anyway the next race. So,
Well,
I think taking points away from a guy who's not going to be showing up would have been a little too harsh, I think.
nah. I don't know what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. He should have lost points too.
Because
I think Bubba should have too.
Because if we're going to go down that path, then people are going to immediately go right back to what happened with Bubba and saying, why didn't he get points taken away from him either? Because it would have been like almost the exact same wreck ish.
I'm not gonna. I can't. I'm not allowed to say anything about that. I'm not allowed to say anything about that. I already had to make an apology after that race. I'm not saying anything about that. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna not talk about that. We're just gonna leave it as it is. Not touching it.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
That's fine. I'm just not going to add anything to it.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in, and I know we're not going to talk about it, but just let you know, could be on the horizon.
Because I know the reason. I'm just not going to say the reason. Yeah, other than that, no cautions at all.
Except for Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott was the only caution. I feel like I think probably whoever the only person that had a good enough car to compete with Byron. I think there's two. AJ and well, I mean McDowell had a really fast car and he probably could have beat Byron, but they wound up having what they said was a potential ECU issue, but they never really diagnosed it. I think if my man didn't oh wait, there is a little bit more to talk about. I forgot. If my man didn't decide to get a speeding penalty, somehow get a speeding penalty 3 stalls away from the freaking line, I think he had a shot to beat Byron. He was the fastest car on the racetrack for a long time.
Yeah.
I think it was AJ and him that had probably the best shot at beating Byron.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I don't have a spoon in here, but I'll hold one up, Mr. Silver Spoon, that doesn't deserve to be racing in Cup anymore. I'm sorry, he doesn't deserve it. Fighting for 19th, decides to come from like 3 car lengths back and drive into Larson. And Larson's like, yeah, I don't fucking think so. And he just drove right into the corner and doored him. And you know what? It sucks to suck Austin, doesn't it? And Larson finishes 26th. Austin finished 31st. Eat shit, Austin Dillon. You can't, like, you're fighting for 19th place. You had a decent race going towards the start of the race, and then you shit the bed after that. And you were fighting for 19. You drove from 3 car lengths back and tried to drop kick Larson. And Larson was not the one to drop kick. And the fact that Larson saved it and still had enough speed to drive it in as hard as he did, I got to give Larson credit for that. Because like when you saw him shoot out of the line, it looked like he was fucking gone. It looked like he was just gonna lose it. He was completely sideways, and you could see he was floored. He had that thing floored the second he got hit. And then Austin came up to him, and Larson gave him the finger. Larson gave him the finger. He came up to him, and they talked, and Larson went like that as he was talking to him, and he just walked away after that. And I'm liking it. I'm really liking it because Larson's tired of taking people's shit. He's tired of it. After all the Denny shit that's happened this season, he got dumped. He did. Dylan tried to dump him. He did. He 100% tried to dump him. I mean, he drove into him and then pushed him through the corner.
I call
And
it
Larson was just.
spot.
And Larson was just like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
That's called F around and find out. Chris Buescher, 7th. He just continues to be top 10, top 5 every single week. Todd, McDowell has a bad race and they wound up going behind the wall, and Todd's like, don't worry, boy, I got you.
I was happy for Ty.
But I wanted to but before we end it, because there's not a whole lot of other interesting things. Chase Elliott 32nd. We knew that was happening. There's not really anything else. Bowman 23rd. He was shit all race anyway.
Yeah.
Rockefeller 19th. Solid.
Yep. Oh yeah, there was one more little bit piece of news that we forgot to mention. Josh Berry being the 42 car at Daytona.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Cool.
Yeah.
I want to touch. I want to touch on Bubba.
Oh yeah.
I really do. Bubba. He from the start of the weekend, he literally said, "I hate this place. I hate running here. I." He said, "I suck. I suck here."
Yeah.
And yeah, like he had a good stage 2, 9th. He had a good stage 1, 8th. He was running good. They had a mistake towards the end of the race, and he clawed it back and got 12th. Listen, it's a 12th place finish. I know it's not a great finish. It's not a bad finish. That is his best finish at this racetrack by damn near 10 places.
Well, that's overall his best road course race ever in the Cup Series.
To see that Bubba finished 12th, and if you listen to the radio chatter between him and his team after he crossed the line, they were all freaking ecstatic. Like, I thought Bubba was going to cry. Like, that is probably one of the better runs I've ever seen Bubba have.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't fuck himself.
Yeah.
Because he always gets in his own head. And he kept his composure, and he kept going. And it's showing that he's starting to finally get into it. He's getting into the point where I think he could be a threat in the playoffs. Maybe not a championship threat,
Yeah.
but Kansas, he's good at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Dega, he's got a legitimate shot at shocking everyone.
Yeah.
Do I think he will? No,
Yeah.
I don't. But he's got 28 points.
32, I think.
Was it 32? I thought it was 28.
It was 28 entering the Glen. Now it's 32.
You're right, it is 32. Well, shit. I was thinking that it was 32 between Denny and Truex.
It's 34, I think.
39.
39.
With Brad and Harvick at it being locked in, I mean, let's all be honest. Harvick is literally just trying to finish solid this season. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Still think should have won Phoenix
Gibbs,
in the spring, but
he should have won a couple races this season.
that's the only one that he had legit speed to win all year.
Elliott's 101 out. It's over.
He needs to win.
It's over. Sorry. It's over.
It ain't over to the checker flag waves. Or they decided to pull a Jeff Gordon and add him to the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't need to lose more fans than they already have. Ricky, first round out.
Yeah.
Harvick, first round out. Sorry. He's been nowhere all season.
Yeah, he's been carrying SHL's back except on road courses. But I got him going round.
Suarez.
I got him going round 12.
Look, my two dark horses for Daytona are Suarez and Allmendinger.
I got Justin Haley in there.
Haley could too.
Josh Berry, super long shot. Eric Jones, long shot. But I mean, like, it's pretty much anyone can win Daytona.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, if the 3-car wins Daytona, I'm going to literally scream.
For the second year in a row.
Mickey Mouse his way into the playoffs and then and then get booted first round. Booted first race, first of all. Because he will not make it after the first race. Yeah. It's going to be either Colleague or Junior Motorsports winning the Xfinity race, with, of course, Austin Hill being thrown in there because,
Justin Haley's in there too.
Yeah, well, we saw how that went last time, so.
Yeah, he saw at Atlanta, then he made the move on Hemwick, so. Yeah.
I think the Cup race is going to be way more interesting.
Yeah.
Good
thing, and hopefully, good thing, no rain. Hopefully. Because I think I saw it's like a 20% chance of rain.
Yeah, that'll change by the hour.
Please don't.
Welcome to Florida.
Ugh.
Hate this place. Yeah, it's going to be one of them. But it's going to be like Haley has a shot. Eric Jones has a shot. Honestly, I'm going to go out, and it is like the long shot of long shots. Corey.
I knew you were going to say him. I knew you were going to say Corey LaJoie.
Look, listen, if it wasn't for Elliott,
yeah,
he would have won Atlanta.
To me, it looked like LaJoie gave it to him. But two to go. But coming to the turn one of the last up, yeah, Elliott put him in the wall. I think that's when I started hating Elliott because he literally put LaJoie in the wall.
Oh yeah, he did 100%.
And then Chase was like, "You got to do it. Like you got to block. I mean, I'm not going to give it to him." I'm like, he probably wouldn't even make the playoffs anyway that year, like because of the points. But wait, really?
Most popular driver. So.
But that siren was ringing though in Georgia.
I can go through a list of Denny, Kyle Busch, Buescher, Bell, Ross, Blaney, Reddick, Logano, Brad, Mike McDowell, Ricky, Harvick. Well, actually, out of all of the people who are already in the playoffs, I think the least likely is Harvick and Larson.
To make it around 12?
No, to win Daytona.
Oh, to win Daytona. Yeah, Harvick's not really been a great plate racer. He's been up there, but he really hasn't been up there. And
I think most of the people that have the best shot are going to be behind the cut line.
Yeah,
because they're going to have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and a lot of gain.
It's going to be interesting. I'm here for it.
There's going to be a big wreck, though. There's always going to be the big one's always going to happen.
Oh yeah, especially this time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you who's going to be in it. I'm going to tell you who's going to be in it. And I'm only going to say one driver. You should know who I'm going to say. It will be Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott will be in the big one. And I'm going to watch NASCAR Twitter have a complete meltdown. They've already been having a meltdown. They've literally been having a complete and utter meltdown over the last couple days, and I've been just loving it. It's been amazing. But when it happens, I might have to delete Twitter from my phone. Because I will not be able to contain myself. It's like over. It was last night. I was on Twitter and I was just kind of scrolling through, seeing what was going on and what people were saying and everything. And there was a couple things about Chase and Allen. It was mostly about Allen because all the Chase fans think that it's all Allen's fault when Chase has been just as bad. So they can't accept that one. And then I started seeing a bunch of stuff about Lewis Hamilton and people that can't get Lewis Hamilton's dick out of their mouth for long enough to make an actual coherent sentence. And I watched someone talk about Lewis winning the pole by 0.003 seconds and say that's why he's the GOAT with a crowd car. And then I was like, but didn't he literally lose podium in half a lap? Actually, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure he lost 3 spots in 2 corners at the start of the race and then never showed his face again. And isn't he the one that's getting beat by Aston Martin? So where are you guys at with that? And then they just bring up, oh, well, like 2021. Like, first of all, that's 2 years ago. Stop crying. Just stop, please, because you guys are making yourselves look bad, even though you do that on a daily basis. And then they're like, oh, you love Max Verstappen. No. I hate them both. I think they're both. I hate with a passion both of them. I'm a Lando Norris fan. And I've always been a Lando Norris fan. And before that, I was a Fernando fan. So I hate that. F1 is so bad. It's follow the leader for 60, 70 laps, and it's Max Verstappen half a track ahead of second place. It's not entertaining. It's not exciting. Nothing about it is good. All the battles are happening from fifth on back, and there's Max Verstappen could literally be leading the manufacturer championship by himself without Sergio's points. By himself, he could be winning. He could win the manufacturer's championship for Red Bull. That is disgusting. He has literally won basically every race except for like 2. How is that entertaining? Thank God I don't watch F1. I can't. I'm here for the Twitter meltdown coming on Sunday. I'm also here for the Twitter meltdown if Chase Elliott makes it on Sunday. Because then the haters will have the meltdown. But I would rather see the fans have the meltdown. Because anyone who doesn't like Chase everyone that doesn't like Chase already has a meltdown if Chase could say, we had a great car today, and the Chase haters have a meltdown. The Chase fans, someone could, kind of rub alongside Chase's car at some point in the race, and they will have a complete meltdown about it. So on Sunday, there will be a meltdown. Doesn't matter which one it is. I guarantee if he doesn't make if he doesn't make the playoffs, it is all going to be nothing but hate towards Allen. 100%. Fire him, fire him, fire him. Fire Chase. But that won't happen.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. It'll be Allen more than anything.
Oh, Allen he might get shit canned before the end of the season. He might get dropped if they don't make the chase, or if they don't make the playoffs. But that being said, there's 5 minutes until I'm supposed to start the league race, so
yeah,
we'll be going for an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So next week it'll be Wednesday. probably around the same time. Um, whether we're talking about the new winner, we're talking about Bubba making the playoffs, or whether we're talking about Chase making the playoffs, I can tell you which one is the least likely. Um, regardless of what happens, there will be a meltdown on Sunday, and we will be talking about it.
Mhm.
So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the races this weekend. Milwaukee coming back for the truck race. I specifically left out us making any predictions for that because who the hell knows?
Mhm.
Because Matt Crafton is the only one that has any experience at the Milwaukee Mile in the trucks.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun weekend. And what's great is I won't be able to watch because I will be at work, but I will be listening. So
Mhm.
we're going to have a good weekend. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the races, and we will catch you guys next week.
Mhm.
Peace.
See you.